But this last slide here, before we start up the moonshine and kind of round out our evening of gaming together and hanging out and talking history, this is what I got when I typed in to Google, what was it like to be a woman in the Wild West? And I'm going to go, I'm not sure how well you can, you know what, I'm going to grab this and do this so you guys can get a good view of what Google handed me. We have Women of the Wild West, History Detectives PBS. Now, this is an article that goes through 6 exemplary women on the West. So Annie Oakley, Calamity Jane, there's a particular madam who was included. Wild Women of the West. And again, another article about women that like threw off social norms and went out and did crazy things. The Explorers podcast, Wild Western Women, Ladies on the Frontier. Now, I didn't listen to the show, but I did do some digging. And again, this is a pulling out the exceptions to the rules. And again, the usual culprits all show up again because they're the ones we point at. And for all of my affection for it, the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum has an article, Not Just a Housewife, The Changing Roles of Women in the West, and you'll never guess what it is. Yeah, it's another article pulling out exceptions to all the rules to go, look, women had a hard life on the frontier, but let's look at these really interesting women who broke the mold and did something different. Now, and I don't want to end the history part of tonight on a rant, because I'm going to rant plenty when I completely botch this moonshine delivery. But I am going to rant for a second that my Google search was not exemplary women on the West. It was, what was it like to be a woman in the Wild West? And when the best sources we have for quick information for curious minds gives us instead these exceptional cases, we lose the ability to study the realities of it. We begin to define what we think of as real as what was truly exceptional, and that diminishes the contributions of the women on the frontier who made it work for themselves, for their families, for their loved ones, for their sisters, for their daughters. It's great that we have these exemplars out there and these women who broke the mold and broke norms and trailblazed. And if I had searched for trailblazing women on the Western frontier, I wouldn't be upset. But I'm just trying to do a little backstory research for this girl right here on camera with you, and what her life might have been like. I don't want her to be the next Annie Oakley. I want her to be a realistic woman living on the frontier, venison steak to venison steak. All right, so that's my rant.